湧いてきたぜ。ゴッドくっついちゃった。
ほら、想像以上に楽しませてもらっているよ。
What's going on, guys? It is your boy Grave, and today we'll be talking about Kamen Rider Revice episode 24. Holy crap, we're already halfway through the season. Like, time has surely gone by. Like, it felt like only yesterday we were on episode 1, but now we're halfway there. It's crazy. Thank you guys so much for actually watching 24 episodes of my videos. But anyway, with that out of the way, let's get started. Now, the episode starts off with George examining the Gifu's coffin, stating that it's been pulsating more and more often during this past week, and it must have been a countdown to something. Now he thinks it's a resurrection. I have my own theories, but we can get onto that later. In the bathhouse, like in actual ruins, like everything's a mess. Daiji is scolding Vice and Tamaki because of the mess, with Vice scaring off customers wanting to be a mascot, and Tamaki kind of doing a poor job with the bathhouse. Like, he's pouring milk on people's heads on accident. He's going in the woman's side of the baths to give a lady her purse, stuff like that. But Sakura is showing like genuine concern about Iki and walks off, and as she's about to leave the bathhouse, she bumps into George, who asks if she's going to see the Ushijima family, and she pushes him off and walks out. And after that, George tells Vice and Daiji that he found a way to reverse Iki and Vice back to normal, to where Iki's the physical body and Vice is the ghost flying around, but Vice doesn't seem to trust him. But George wants to go into a bath and seemingly invites Genta. In the bath, Genta washes George's back while Vice is like watching, like he's keeping his eye on, I don't trust you. George asks Genta about the scar on his chest, but Genta tells him that he doesn't really remember and that he must have got it when he was drunk. George thinks back about the x-rays he got from Genta showing that he had no heart, with him saying that it's unfortunate. In Oteka's hideout, he tells the Demon's driver that this can't be the true extent of your power, with the driver saying that it is, as I am now. Oteka asks Aguilera to get George, but she refuses, saying that we're supposed to be equals. This kind of has Oteka get a cult member and stamps her, turning her into a Giftarian, killing her. And the sight of this actually frightens Aguilera. And Oteka just says that he'll stop at nothing to achieve his ambitions. And Aguilera just walks off. George explains to Iki and Vice their situations. That Iki's the ghost, but he still gets hungry, and that eventually Iki will starve. And that will kill him, meaning that will also kill Vice. George suggests that they use Vice's ability to possess things that stamps, and make sure that the stamp Iki can possess something. So, like, use the Rex stamp to have Iki possess the rolling stamp, so when Vice transforms with it, it'll swap places like it did the first time. But Vice is not trusting him because of exactly what happened to Hiromi. Like, he doesn't trust him. Like, what if you're using us for another experiment? Like, he feels like he's gonna try to kill them. Iki suggests that they should think it over, and after George leaves, Vice goes to apologize, but Iki says he knows where he's coming from. Sakura is by herself on a rooftop, remembering her encounter last time she was with Weekend, encountering Karazaki, who confirms that he's actually George's dad, but she also finds out that they were the ones that gave Iki his rolling stamp, with Tasuke saying that it was all for Iki's sake, with Karazaki also saying that Iki has developed a certain relationship with Vice, and he hoped he could use that to keep in check a certain out-of-control demon, but things aren't really going as planned, with Gifu influencing all the demons since they have an inseparable connection. Karazaki ends it by telling Sakura that their future is decided by what they can learn from the past. Back in the present day, Sakura is approached by Hikaru, looking for an answer if Sakura would join the Weekend for his dad. But Sakura says that Tasuke isn't really Hikaru's dad, but George drops in asking to join the conversation, saying that you guys are being pretty sussy. That line coming from George is pretty funny. I'm pretty sure that was the fan dub having it say like that, but having George saying sussy kind of makes sense. But George reveals that he knows that his father is alive, and that it was them who gave Sakura her driver and Iki the stamp, before he's actually attacked by the Giftarian that Oteka made earlier. Sakura transforms to fight the Giftarian, with Vice showing up, and when George suggests that, hey, it's time to swap with Iki, Vice brushes him aside and goes to help Sakura. And as they fight, Oteka comes up from behind and kidnaps George. And soon after that, Vice and Sakura defeat the Dead Man, the Giftarian. A short little scene of Daiji in the Phoenix base lying down, seemingly in pain, with Kagero in the mirror telling Daiji that he's growing stronger. He should be growing stronger since, the Gifu pulsation is doing certain things to demons. But George is hanging from a chain in Oteka's hideout, with Oteka asking if he could tell him how to unlock the power of the demon's driver. George seemingly agrees, but he's actually just interested in what that power would be. Back in the bathhouse, Sakura is trying to call Daiji, but no answer. He's probably still in pain from when he was lying down. Vice wonders if they could do something by themselves, but Sakura snaps at him, asking if he really cares about Iki. And to my shock, Vice snaps back saying he loves Iki, but he can't trust George, thinking that Iki will just be another experiment to him, kind of like Hiromi. Iki jumps in the conversation, saying that he's not fine with going through with George's plans unless Vice is 100% down with it as well. But he turns around and tells Vice that they still need to rescue George regardless. Sakura then gets a call from George telling her to meet him at a location he's sending her, with Vice reluctantly agreeing to go help him, and leaves with Sakura. Now, when they go rescue George, they run into Tekka, who's actually with him, seemingly like George betrayed them. And it's apparently George helped Oteka to unlock the demon's true power. Sakura and Oteka transform to fight, but Vice is a little hesitant on swapping with Iki. But Iki and Vice have this one-to-one talk, saying Iki telling Vice if you can't trust George, then trust me. I trust George. And they finally go through with the plan. Vice stamps the rolling stamp, or scans it, and Iki possesses the rolling stamp, having them actually swap places, so where Iki is actually the physical being. and he actually transforms into Jack Revice, and he fights along Sakura. Now, how Iki uses Jack Revice is completely different than when Vice would use it. Like, I never thought that if you like use the rolling stamp and just stamp graffiti or draw graffiti, that thing would actually happen. Like, Iki would like draw a lightning bolt, and Sakura will run into it, and she has now lightning in her attacks. But the two end up defeating Olteka when Olteka is having this trouble using more than 2 stamps. Like, he uses 2 stamps, and when he goes for a third, the same thing that happened with Hiromi happened to him, where he gets knocked back. He not untransformed, just knocked back. And Iki performs a finisher on him. And untransforms. Now, when he talks with Sakura and thanking Vice, he swaps with Vice, but still in Iki's body. Like, now Vice is in Iki's body. And they go back and forth swapping. So now both beings are occupying the same body. Kind of like how Kagero and Daiji is right now, if you think about it. Harazaki mentions that while things aren't going as planned, things will still prove to be entertaining for a while as he leaves with Tasuke, and the camera pans towards like a recolor of the Demon's Driver. And the episode ends with Olteka yelling at the Demon's Driver that nothing's really changed. You're not more powerful. With the demon inside it telling Olteka that he'll just fight as he pleases, and leaves the driver. Now this episode kind of resolved the whole Jack Revice. Vice is now the physical being while Iki's the ghost. They resolved that, but they now introduced this new problem with now both of them are occupying the same body now. So now we have a Kagero situation. Now I'm thinking, what if for Kagero, he can be his own separate being as well? Like the whole fucking Iki Daiji thing is swapped. And George's fixation on Genta not having a heart, that has to play into the Gifu coffin. Like, in my honest opinion, or my theory, I believe Genta is heavily connected to Gifu. Like, what if Genta is a reincarnation of Gifu? And that's exactly why Iki, Daiji, and Sakura can use the drivers, because they have demons, because they are a real relative of Gifu. I'm pretty sure most of this will get answered in later episodes, but what do you guys think? What do you guys think about Iki now being able to use Jack Revice? What do you guys think about Jack Revice as a whole? Like, in my opinion, this is the few times a Berserker form isn't really a Berserker form. Like, he's not attacking people randomly. It's just Vice in control this time. What do you guys think about the Demon Driver demon leaving the driver? What do you think about when Harazaki said, like, you need to learn from your past to decide the future? Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today's episode. If you guys like what you heard, what you saw, please leave a like, comment what you guys think. And, as always, any shares would be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys next time on the next episode. Peace out.